Hi, and welcome to episode number 148 of the Savvy Social Podcast. This show is created for passion-led online business owners who want to learn how to use social media as a tool to grow their business so that you can impact and empower more people. Now, this month, we are talking all about mindful marketing. We really want to dig into using social media instead of letting social media use us, as well as creating and establishing habits for long-term use and navigating this whole digital marketing thing without being sleazy or scammy or selly. Now, in today's episode, I am going to be sharing a sample of the course inside of the Savvy Social School. This is our social media rockstar framework course. It is the foundation. It's the place we really recommend everyone starts when they're going through the school. And the reason I want to talk about this today is to really dive into the impact of your messaging. We're going to talk about how to start building out a message that works for you. And we're going to talk a little bit about how you can deliver that message in a way that works for you. So with that, let's dive into the content. Oftentimes, the biggest struggle as business owners and brands approaching social media is understanding our marketing messages. What do we want to say? How do we want to say it? How does this actually get people to convert into clients and customers and pay attention to us as brands? And so in this section, I'm going to talk to you about your marketing messages, but this is definitely something that you want to work on as we're going through this, right? Head over to your planner. Pull out a piece of paper, work on your messages, and know that this is an ongoing process. So we don't want to have this perfectly polished by today, and you may not, but you want to start this process and then continue to work on it as you build and grow your business. Now, how we're going to do this is using what I call the marketing messaging matrix, 3 M's. And the first part of your matrix is your difference. This is a key pillar of content. It's a key way that we teach this here at the school. And this is so important for helping you understand what you bring to the world and the transformation that your work brings. So we're going to talk about your difference. We're also going to talk about your values. This is something that we'll touch on in this course, but it is something that you have to dig deep and do some brainstorming and understand your values here as well. So I'll give you some tools and some questions to ask to help you identify those. And then you want to focus in on your delivery system. Now, sometimes it's not our message that's the challenge, it's how we're delivering it and showing up in the world. And so we're really going to help you figure out what your delivery system is for your business so that your message really has the impact that it needs to. Now, essentially, this messaging matrix allows you to unlock your own unfair advantage. This is what really helps you set yourself apart from the others in your industry. So let's start with the first piece of your metrics, which is your difference. When we're talking about your difference, we're talking about what you sell. Okay, this is what you sell, and this is an easy one for a lot of us. It's our product, our offer, or service. So if you're working in your planner or in your Google Doc or in a piece of paper, go ahead and write down right now what you sell and try to keep it as short as possible. So here at the Savvy Social School, for instance, that's what we sell, the Savvy Social School. It's a membership program. Who is it for is that second W. So the first W, what do you sell? The second W, who is it for? Again, try to keep this short, but you really want to focus in on exactly who it's for and try to add in a few qualifiers because I promise you it's not for everybody. Or not yet for everybody. And when you're building out a marketing message kind of matrix, you do want to kind of focus in on that pillar of people that you're speaking to. So for instance, the Savvy Social School is for online business owners or businesses that are predominantly marketed through online means. The third W is the why does it matter? The why does it matter? And this really is what makes your difference shine for everyone else. It makes you stand out from everyone else. And so when you think about your why does it matter, you want to focus in on the transformation that your work brings, that feeling that people have as they're working with you. So I like to put this in two different ways. The first one is think about that feeling before they work with you. So identify what your people, your audience, what are they feeling before experiencing your offer or service? And if you're watching this and you're going, Andrea, I don't sell anything yet, maybe you just have a podcast or a YouTube channel, then your offer is attention. Your currency is attention. Your offer is that podcast or that YouTube channel. So think about what your people are feeling before they experience what you have to offer. Okay, what is their life like before? And then think about what they are experiencing or feeling after your offer. Okay, what is their life like after? When we think about this before and after scenario, this really helps us focus on feelings rather than maybe features and benefits, right? So an example for the school is I could list all day that we've got things like an Instagram course, we've got a LinkedIn course, we've got a Facebook course, but as I'm saying that, it just feels like more work, right? Well, I've got to do this thing or study that thing. And instead of focusing on the features and benefits of what's in the school, we focus on the transformation it brings. Maybe you're feeling confused and overwhelmed. That's the before. And then the after is you're going to feel confident. You're going to feel like you have a plan and a path forward. So think about that feeling and what it does for your people. And again, we're really focusing on the individuals that you are serving, the people in your audience. Try to make this as specific as possible to a singular person. Right. So we talked about your difference. Next, we're going to talk about your values here. Now, your values, again, are something that are embedded into your business, but a good place to start is to think about what separates your offers from the others out there. So an example for the school is that we really try to simplify it and make sure that it really flows with the rest of your marketing, especially as business owners. We're not influencers. We're not out there on Instagram stories all day, every day. And so oftentimes we're really focused in on social media as one tool in our toolbox. Okay. So that's an example of our values here at the school. And then the other thing is, why are you offering this in the first place? If you could really tap into why are you offering this particular thing? Why are you putting this out into the world? What inspired you, or what motivated you to build this business in the first place, to create this offer, to deliver this podcast, right? Why are you doing this in the first place? And again, this really helps separate us from the other people out there who may be doing the same thing. All right, so we talked about your difference. We talked about your values. Lastly, we're going to talk about your message delivery system. And oftentimes, even if we have the right message and we really know our values, we may be delivering that message in a way that's inauthentic to us and our business, or maybe challenging to us. So I do want you to start with your preference here. If you are a talker, think about how you can show up that way on social media. If you like writing, figure out how you can show up that way. If you more like imagery and graphics, think about how you can show up that way, but really lean into your preference and the preference of the business. Okay. If there's someone else kind of working with you, this can also help with collaboration. You want to begin with the end in mind, and the strategy works on any platform. Okay. So an example would be, I am a talker. I like talking. I really enjoy creating a podcast and video content. And so that's really how I put myself out there on social media as well. My preference is talking. I can have my team help with writing. They usually use my own words from things I've said in videos and podcasts to put that on social. So that can help as well. But you do also want to begin with the end in mind. So for me, a lot of my content is all about relationship building. So it does help to have that talking piece in there as well. But also my people are busy. So we're not going to have like a 3-hour long situation. We're just going to kind of speed this along. And again, you can apply this to any platform. So I want to show you how this looks in real life, because sometimes these concepts, are challenging to wrap our heads around. And so we're going to look at the entire messaging matrix and how this looks with real world examples. So here's an example here of one of our agency clients, Cara Lowenthal, who really her difference, her value system, and her delivery system are really intertwined and clear. So her difference is that she helps women with their, or people who identify as women or non-binary, with their brains. Like, how do you manage your thoughts and your life? And she's a life coach. And so she likes to deliver this through bold statements and long captions. And she really focuses in on the result. Again, the end is in mind, helping people with their brains. She does this through a membership site and her podcast. So all of her work is either geared back to the membership or the podcast. And she uses text-based posts to do this because oftentimes her people need to connect with that message in a way that's tangible first. So using these bold statements can help with that. So this is just one example of how the messaging matrix can really help you show up online in a really impactful way. Here's another example of one of our clients, Linda Talaferro. She is a CEO helping Black and brown women get into the C-suite. Sorry, she's a VP. She is a VP helping Black and brown women get into the C-suite in corporate America. And how she chooses to show up is through a weekly live show. She does this weekly live show. She cross streams it to Facebook and YouTube and coming soon to LinkedIn. And she really likes speaking her message into the world. And speaking for her is really her best way to show her passion and really draw her people in. And this started off as a Facebook live show as well, because a lot of her community was on Facebook. And so she shows up where she is. She understands her difference with helping Black and brown women get into the C-suite. She understands her value system and having that open conversation and dialogue through live video, and her delivery system through live video as well. Right, here's one other example of one of our past clients, Dr. Christine Sterling. She helps perfectionist mamas who are pregnant or trying to conceive, and she really shows up in an imperfect way on her profile, whether that's through photos or videos. This screenshot here is Instagram Reels, just to show you what this imperfect nature looks like and how raising children sometimes is completely an imperfect process, no matter how much you plan it out. And so you can see that this is really working for her by the number of views and interactions she's getting on her content. And that's because she really understands her difference, really working with those perfectionist mamas, not just any pregnant person, but the pregnant people who want everything to be perfect. She really understands her value system here, really helping them to become helping them to tackle that inner perfectionist and show up as a parent as they are. And then her delivery system, she shows up in reels and in stories and really talks about the things that nobody wants to talk about when it comes to conception and pregnancy. Okay, so think about what this means for you. And again, this is just a starting place for how your messaging is going to show up in the world. And in the next section, we're going to talk about how you can actually build out those marketing messages so that you can show up confidently on social media. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you loved it, definitely check out our free course. You can find it at OnlineDrea.com/free. And it really helps you kind of dive deeper into this work of building out a social media strategy that works for you. One of the new favorites in there is a mini meditation that helps you understand your relationship to social media. There's a lot of aha moments happening in this course, so check it out. It's free and it will really give you that foundation that you're looking for. And hey, if you love the show, go on over to Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review. Our show has thankfully been in the top 100 podcasts in both the US and Canada, and now in the UK. and Australia. I think I saw New Zealand on there recently. So thanks everyone for listening to the show. We couldn't do it without your support. Now stay tuned because next week I'm talking to Dr. Michelle Mazur all about messaging. We're going to continue this conversation and her perspective on kind of using words to capture attention and encourage engagement is fascinating. You're going to love it. And you're going to have so many takeaways. You're going to want to pull out a pen and paper for that one. So that's next week. I will see you then. Bye for now.